Good morning.
Good morning.
Seeing a lot of new faces after a long time. So welcome back. So allow me to start with such a uh, kind of emotion, I would say, which is very close to my heart because I have learned a lot through the state of loneliness. Okay, so that's the reason. I have named it as the Anatomy of Lonliness. So when Mohan was after me, give me the topic, everybody is after me to create the creative. Out of nowhere, this is the word that came. And later I realized that somebody has written the book with the same title. So this was very different for me. Okay, the same title was given because it was just from my subconscious, it came like that without even not knowing. Anyway, so the Anatomy of Loneliness. Now the art that you are seeing is one of the art of my book Anubhav Bodh Chintan. A little story I'll tell you how in what scenario I sat to do this artwork. So you know my son Mayank and Raj. So I think during COVID time, exactly I don't remember. On hai?
Yeah.
So I don't remember exactly the date, time and month. Probably 2021 or 2020. So we all have felt how it was those days. So we were at home. No one was liking to be at home. You feel like going out and talk. So the TV was the only ultimate savior. So everybody was watching, and my son, my husband Raj, they were watching and watching and watching, and it never came to an end. And we all were there together, but still I was feeling so left out. And I took my sketchbook, which always there is a sketchbook on my dining table. So that is a savior of my emotions coming out. So I took that sketchbook, I went to the balcony, and then I sat and then I drew this. By the end of this art, I was feeling quite better because something came out, something I could express through this art. And that's where I learned a lesson that any energy that we feel, even if fear for that matter, when you start expressing, when you know how to express, the energy has to flow. And we know the definition of energy. It can neither be
Destroyed, created or destroyed.
it moves. So it moved from my state, my being, to the paper now. So having said that, let me start, ask you to do a little small activity. So this is a 2-minute activity. You should not take more than 1.5 minutes. So who I am and who I show. This is an example. Don't go by this. So create 2 circles, maybe in your mind also, or in pen and paper, anything is fine, or maybe 2 columns you can say. Mobile pe hi kar lo. So who I am, what are the words that is coming? So take those words which you are not able to be authentic who you show. For example, I am confident, but whenever there is a chance of showing or demonstrating that confidence or being confident, you are not able to do that. Got the question? So I am just pausing for a 30-40 seconds and then do this in your mind. Because that's important. When I move forward, you'll be able to relate. And I might ask,
So you have to choose from those 3 or?
no, you. It's an example. You know that you are that authentically, with all authenticity. But when it comes to a situation that you need to show up like that, could be I feel like saying no, but whenever there's a situation is demanding to say no, I'll end up saying yes. Not being authentic to your own self. And raise your hand, those who are done. I'll just wait for at least 80-90% people raising hand. Just give me a signal that, okay, you have words. Again, a glimpse of Paricha. Pehchan khud se. Okay. Can anyone share just in 10 seconds one thing that you have found out from this circle and one that you are, and then how is the result showing up for you? Anyone, Vinay or anyone?
See, for example, I am purposeful, I found my purpose, but when it comes to implementation, I am lazy.
Okay. Vinay, anything?
Yeah, so who I am, it's very difficult. Still, actually, frank testing, I'm not able to figure out who I am. Okay? I'm always in the search of who I am. But to the present moment,
So it cannot be one word. You can just talk about all those elements and characteristics like confidence, thoughtful, knowledge. Just pick one, and then you are not able to keep it that when you show.
confident. But who I show is a procrastinator.
Okay, fine, good. Yeah, okay. Anyone? Ma'am?
Who I am is confident in a particular aspect, but then what I show is I underplay at work.
Underplay. I think I should not have shown these examples because people are taking confidence as a word. Uday.
I am a family person, but when it comes to my manager says, so that takes some priority. So even though I have to spend some time with my family kids, so that takes the priority. So sometimes I don't show up.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, so I feel like, I have to grab that opportunity. Okay, so feel like I'm optimistic. But when it comes to this time, so I procrastinate.
You procrastinate,
I
okay.
procrastinate.
Because of some. So, okay, we'll not go deeper because I don't know, you are naming it as procrastination. So, when I sit doing a diagnostic, we don't know what all might come up. Anything to say, Manoj?
No.
Did you figure it out something or not?
That's also very, I can't give it up.
Okay, ठीक है. So, lunch time, break time, we'll catch up. So, is which parts of you who I am do I usually hide and not show to others? Okay, that was the question. And what would help me feel safe or comfortable showing a little more of that side? So whatever you have said, if you can just be authentic to what you want, is like you said you underplay. So what if I just play it well? What if I do it right, or if I do not procrastinate, or I just manage my time, giving time to family. Okay, hold that sense of whatever you have understood. And that's where we create fragments of ourselves. Now, what exactly is loneliness? So whenever these kind of incident happen, where you are, because of some reasons, you are not able to keep up that authenticity and not live by that authenticity. I'm confident, I live with confidence. Or I have, I take opportunities as opportunities, and whenever situation comes, I take that and I do and I execute that. Or whenever I got some fear, I overcame that. But then life doesn't happen like that. So let me call Aryan. Come here. Consider Aryan as so Aryan is, I'm keeping him in front of me. Mere aage karo. So consider that we both are one. Okay. So an incident happens and then we feel something. Okay. So feeling is like you are not authentic. So you show up in a way, but that is actually not who you are. So you are confident, but you show up as a procrastinator. So whenever and however and how many times you have been showing that in a lifetime, that many separates in that incident. That part of yourself stays in that opportunity which you didn't take in the right time. So consider Prem Sai. This is a part of Prem Sai who didn't take that opportunity and became a procrastinator in one of the interview to enter to a dream company. So there are many, consider metaphorically, or maybe imagine that there are many Aryans or many part of Prem Sai has been fragmented. A fragment part of Prem Sai was in 1996 when my brother met with an accident. One phone call and the sound of the phone call was a trigger. And then for at least for at least good 6 to 7 years, whenever there was a call, I couldn't get the courage to go and pick up the call, thinking that, because that phone call gave me a message that he was no more. And I was the one who picked up that call. So a fragmented part was there. So this is a big trauma. When I say trauma, it might not be that big, but you have created psychologically in your mind. So fragmentation is the conscious personality is fractured. A part of you is fractured. And that, did I integrate that part? Yes. I did integrate that part, which was there, a fearful prem sai in 1996. How did I realize? Eventually, when you suffer a lot with a disc prolapse, with 2 years of depressions, so it took 6-7 years to really understand that, and went there and integrated that part of me, becoming a whole or complete. Are you understanding, getting it, what exactly I'm trying to say? So the psyche becomes fragmented when your part of your true nature is split off. When you say that I have a purpose, but I'm a procrastinator, I don't know in a day how many Ramesh is being fragmented. Or in a situation like, I don't know how many Vinay has been fragmented and stayed somewhere, you even don't know. Okay, the psyche part of Vinay, the psyche Vinay, or the psyche Uday, or psyche Prem Sai. And repressed. Let me tell you the difference between suppressed and repressed. Repressed is you don't even know it is there. It has been fragmented. So this repressed part, when I sit doing a diagnostic call with leaders and with professionals, at times certain things just show up like that. They don't even realize कि अरे ये कहाँ से आया? I didn't even know why I'm crying. I saw that movie and then I was crying, and then I am crying for 7 days. So suppression is you know that you have suppressed it. Repression is you don't even know what you have suppressed. And ignored or forgotten by the conscious mind. Will you forget forever? No. Triggers. There will be triggers. Consciousness is split off when you experience a trauma. Now the trauma, as I said, it need not be necessarily a big one. A trauma does not have to be a dramatic or devastating event. It can simply be an experience that has a negative effect on your emotions. It can be as simple as उसने मुझे पिज़्ज़ा खाने के लिए नहीं दिया. It can be as simple as your son is pushed by someone and saying that you are fat. It can be as simple as that. You don't know how you are coding it in your mind. How are you interpreting that event in your mind? What is the texture of it? Warmth, cold, far, near. There are a lot of modalities that when I sit with my client, I work with that. There are a lot of modalities. How it is being motherboard mein how you people are IT. So how it is there in the motherboard, right? So fragmentation is initially caused in childhood. Usually whatever that we feel intense between 25 to 45, the root is how you were between 8 to 12 years or 15 years. That's where they don't have any clue about how did it happen. I didn't even know that I was not confident. Now that I'm realizing it. Okay. And when you were reprimanded as a child simply for being a child, or it caused consciousness to become split off. So the conscious, you understood the Aryan, going here and there. So your part is going and it stayed there. You moved on, but your part stays there. So that's your luggage. You have to move with your luggage, right? That's your part. At the same time, an emotional wound opens. So each time you get triggered, a part of you, 100 part of you. So maybe the 50th part would come and speak to you when you were at the age of 30, 35, 40. So those are those inner child whom you didn't pay attention when they were needing you. And they said, they screamed, you didn't listen because we were chasing life, right? So fragmented self. The anatomy of loneliness is, so me, Aryan, can you come here? And imagine there are many Aryans here in the room. And imagine each Aryan is one era, 1 year, 1995, 96. My brother said, you cannot wear jeans. Oh, that was in school days, some year. Okay. Then my mother said this or that. or my father said, or my lover said, whoever that is. So there are many people, a part of me. Now what is loneliness is I being at this moment right now, and the distance between me and my parts. This gap is loneliness. That's loneliness. That space is loneliness. You don't feel complete. दुनिया के मेले में हम भी अकेले, हाँ, मैं और मेरी तन्हाई अक्सर ये बातें करते रहते हैं. We know all our self-talk. Early morning, just check the WhatsApp of many people. That talks a lot story about the status sentence. These days children say existing. Your age, thank you. So existing, you know, that word says a lot. Okay. So the space between our inner fragments is where loneliness lives. How will it go? How do you feel in the space between these words, you know? So the gap between what you want to express and what you actually show in the space where loneliness begins. Now where this part, because we did listen to that part, that's the reason that part is not with you. You didn't pay attention to that part. You thought कि अरे अभी मत रो, मैं ऑफिस से आता हूँ फिर देखता हूँ. अरे आज मत रो, मैं 4 साल के बाद आता हूँ. अरे रुक जा ना, रिटायर्ड के बाद मैं तेरे साथ ही तो बैठूंगा. That time it becomes very heavy. There will be many children. Your inner child, it's a part of you, coming and speaking to you. Me, my lollipop, my candy, that day, this day. Are we capable enough to handle the tantrums of your inner child? So that's the question. So what is emotional fragmentation? It refers to a state which an individual's emotions and sense of self become disconnected, resulting in internal conflict, emotional numbness, or feeling being scattered. You feel like that. I don't feel like myself again. So let's understand few of this self-talk that goes when we feel, I'll take 5 more minutes, we feel disconnected. No one really gets me. आता है mind में? No one really gets me. No one understands energy leakage. Stop. Even when I'm around people, I feel alone. I don't belong anywhere. That's okay. But the thing is, even if you are still there, even if you don't belong, is a question to reflect. It must be my fault that people pull away. Why would anyone want to be around me? I'm not that great. Self-worth. I always mess it up somehow. Self-esteem. Okay. Few more. I'm better off alone. I meet such people quite like as a client. So these days I'm coaching a person who is a GM HR of a company. Now she has this. Ki Prem sai, unless and until my neighbor asks me ki annam tintava, I don't even answer. 22 years of experience as a general manager HR. And such long years I've never thought about myself, self-worth. Hidden longing. Tadap, that andar wala. I wish someone really saw me. I'm doing so much for my family. But my husband never notices. I don't know how many fragment of that part is left up. Yeah, Vinay?
Husband will never.
Okay, that's again a belief system. But is there a possibility to change? Is a question. Okay.
Yeah, correct.
I just want to feel understood. You know, I might miss being close to someone. And when that gap is there, if that your inner world is, and if the society is a mirror, how will your outer world will project for you? Fragmented. And there was a client who was a senior manager in HCL. She once said, I don't know, Prem sir, how do I land up meeting those men who leave me after a while? Because each time she was left or betrayed by her lover, was not healed. It stayed there. It was not integrated. Makes sense. Is it difficult or is it easy? Okay, we are good. And then, few more deep inner narratives. Could be everyday self-doubt. If I disappear, would anyone notice? No, these are typical wife at times, you know. मैं यहाँ मर जाऊँगी भी तो किसी को फर्क नहीं पड़ेगा. If I disappear, would anyone notice? They laughed, but not at my joke. I don't fit in with this group anymore. Or maybe I'm invisible. I push people away without meaning. So these thoughts are usually the emotional core, not craving company. Actually, you don't need people because of which you are lonely. You are not connected with your own self. Because that space between you and you, that part which you ignored, that part which you didn't pay attention, that part which was crying and you didn't give time to that part of yours. So that's where loneliness quietly lives. How does it manifest? Restlessness, the chatpat. You've seen many people say that I can't sit quiet, I need to do something. You know, my son's friend, they are in the same college, Excellencia. She would come and she would take that exercise ball of mine and say, "Ki, Auntie, I'll sit here because I can't sit without doing anything." Now, is that about that what she is expressing? Or something that is so deep and unsettled needs to be addressed? You are out of touch with emotions, numbness, feeling emotionally flat or disconnected. I've seen a lot of people say, I don't cry ever. Meko rona nahi aata. What is that numbness? And people, they say, if I study late or if I work late because of my project, I need something, the fridge has to be packed. My stomach is full. What is empty inside? Then you're eating, opening the fridge and eating something. What are you feeling? That's something that is empty inside with something that is not about hunger actually, biologically. What is empty inside? So basically, that is your disconnection with your own self. There are many reasons. And then the mirror effect. So when you are like that, disconnected from your fragmented self, how will you project to the world? The internal separation mirrors in our external society. So when we reject parts of ourselves, we project distance onto others. And then you feel like, "Kyun mere se log baat nahi karte?" Why is that that's how, even if I am in group, I don't feel, I don't belong to that place because you are not connected with your own self. And then how does it impact? It impacts your self-worth. I asked that client who is a GM, it's a very interesting one, in the diagnostic call. I said that, what are the roles that you play? And then she said all the roles. And she said, what is that one role would you like to talk about? And she said, I would like to talk about being a daughter. I said, daughter of a mother or a father? No, daughter of a father. Daughter of a mother, I really enjoy my relationship with my mother. But daughter of a father, he was very strict. He was abusive. He didn't said anything to us, but to my wife, to my mother. I said, okay. I just asked one thing. Have you ever said no to your mother? And then she took, the body language is like that. That sigh. And then she said, well, once Prince, I said, what did you do? I said, I wrote a letter to my father. And then what's about that? I said, I was in college, entered college, and they were looking for marriage. I couldn't just say anything to my father, and I wrote a letter, please don't marry, start looking for a guy for marriage. I would like to study more. And then what was the result? She said, he just stopped. He didn't say anything, but he stopped. I said, what did you learn about yourself in this whole process? He said, when I voice out, it is honored. I said, great. And then she said, then I said, okay, what is the next role that you would like to talk about? She said, the first employee of the company. I said, when did you say no there? Oh, now that Premsa, you're asking this, I'm realizing that I took 7 years to say no to that role because I wanted to be transferred to another role. You know how? So this disconnect, it's not about the external thing. The disconnection of her own self is driving the whole force. So self-worth is totally fractured. Self-esteem. So self-worth is how do you feel about yourself when you are alone? And self-esteem, how do you feel about yourself when you are in a group? Perception to experience life. If you are disconnected, how do you perceive life? That impacts. Your decision impacts, your choices, your relationship, everything impacts. You'll go to the blame game or many other. How will you feel alone? These are the 4 ways. First, you need to be aware about it. Second, because your disowned parts, you need to notice that, move towards the part of yours. So one is away, fragmentation, because you have moved away. But when you start healing it, you need to move towards your fragmented parts, towards it, and say that, okay, hey, Prem Sai, let's talk. And what happened? Why are you here? I am there. Why are you here? Come along with me. Let's have a talk. Acceptance, include them without judgment. Okay. Integration, let them exist together. Connection with self and others and life. Let's go together. Asking your part, let's go together. Just give your hand. Let's go together. Thank you for showing your, best part, and you shared everything. And tell me what you want. Have a talk. Have a talk with your, the integrated, the fragmented parts. And then take along with yourself. Few micro habits that helps you to connect with yourself again. I would not like to go and read everything, but few things. Start your day with yourself instead of talking with your mobile. Ask yourself, what is it that you're ignoring? How do you feel today? Send one genuine message to yourself about, setting the intention about how do you like to feel that particular day. End your day with a small self-check. Replace I'm fine with one real sentence. So, how are you? I'm fine. Even if you are worst inside, have that authentic self-talk that I'm fine or not fine. Reconnect with the body. Name what you feel often. Create no mask movement. Be yourself and give without agenda. Gratitude. So when you start functioning in that gratitude frequency, universe will pour its blessing and grace. And that's where you need to experience and take that anubhav from yourself and both think about it and do some chintan with the asking great questions and the micro habit that I just shared. Hold multiple truth about yourself. It's okay to being a procrastinator. But then it is not okay to leave your fragmented part there. Go and talk and see what that part is actually longing for which it is staying there and not coming along with you, or maybe stopping you to do actions. Have a talk. Keep integrating your fragmented parts and seek help before it is too late, because your life is worth it, our life is worth it. And that's where the anatomy of loneliness, because may your life journey be from loneliness to solitude, because that's what I felt when I ended this sketch. That's the learning from loneliness to feel solitude. The part of which was feeling ignored, left out, was integrated by the end. I finished the sketch then. That was Parichaya Pehchan Khud Se again.